Guys, check out my new shoes. They're Disney princesses. Disney Princess Vans. I am so happy. This is my little Peep. Are you licking me? Are you licking me, Peep? She's looking all over me. Hey guys! Today I would like to do a review on Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. This is the first book in the Beautiful series, I believe. I've been reading a lot of new adult books lately and I feel like I have a lot to say about them, so I just figured I would do a review on this book first and then we'll kind of just go from there. Although I did do a review on Ugly Love first. It's still not posted. I don't know if it's any good or not, but this is more like my thoughts than a review because it's just kind of going to be all over the place, I imagine, because I do like to ramble and stuff like that. Also, this is going to be spoiler free, so you don't have to worry about being spoiled. If you have not read the book yet, hopefully watching this review will help you decide if you want to read this book or not. So, I'm going to go ahead and get started. As I said before, this is Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. I read this as part of Booktubeathon 2015. This is the first book that I read in Booktubeathon, and I actually read it in one day. I read it during the entire first day of Booktubeathon. It took me about 12 hours of reading with only stopping to eat and to shower, and I stopped technically after I read about 15-20 pages, and then I slept. I went to bed and I slept, and then I ran some errands in the morning, and when I started it again I only stopped so I could eat dinner and shower, and then I picked it back up again and finished it. I knew after I got probably about 50 or 70 pages in, I knew that I was not going to be able to focus at work the next day and get through the day to come home and finish this, so I knew I had to finish it before I went to work the next day. So I finished it in one day, and basically that's how it happened. So this book follows two characters, Travis and Abby. Travis is a sophomore and Abby is a freshman in college, and basically, Travis is a basement fighter in school, and he's undefeated, he's never lost, and he and Abby meet at one of his fights one night. He just sort of starts coming on to her and pursuing her, and she's really not falling for it. He's got a reputation for, you know, sleeping around and, you know, being the walking one-night stand. So she's really not falling for it, but they have mutual friends. His roommate is dating Abby's best friend, so they kind of end up hanging out together a lot, and so they decide that they are going to be friends because he actually really likes spending time with her and she doesn't want anything more with him, so they decide that they're going to be friends. They end up getting so close, in fact, that people actually start to think that they are dating, and so one night they make this bet, and if Travis wins the bet, then Abby has to live at his apartment for 1 month, and if he loses the bet, then he has to remain abstinent for 1 month. I won't tell you how the bet ends up because that's really more for you to figure out by reading the book, but that is the basic premise of the book. Obviously, it's new adult romance, so you know that some kind of feelings get involved, obviously. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the characters. There are obviously the two main characters, Travis and Abby, and then there's a couple other side characters. For example, America and Shepley, or more fondly known as Shep. America and Shep are in a relationship, and America is Abby's best friend and Shepley is Travis's roommate, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them first since I have the least to say about them. So I personally loved Shepley and America. I thought that they were really, really great side characters. Not only that, but I love the friendship that they have with both Travis and Abby. They are good friends to both of them, so when Shepley gets to know Abby, he's just as good a friend to her as Travis and America, and vice versa. They're all just a really cute friend group, and I just really appreciated Shepley and America as side characters. I didn't find them to be boring. I really enjoyed them. You kind of form a relationship with them as well, and so it's a good thing that I believe the third book in this series is about their relationship, so it's kind of fun because you form enough of a relationship with them where you're really interested in their story and you are rooting for them to stay together as much as you're rooting for Abby and Travis. Their relationship is just so sweet, and I really actually can't wait to read about them in another book. I'm actually not sure what that book is called, but I'll look it up when I edit this, and I will leave that somewhere down here. So as far as Abby as a character, I really enjoyed her as a female lead, although I'm now realizing that I don't really feel super strongly one way or the other, any kind of way about her. I did like her, but I don't really feel super strongly, you know, that she was an amazing female lead or that she was not great. I enjoyed her. I don't feel like that she was I don't feel like super strongly about her. She's not my favorite, but I didn't think she was awful. I felt that she was a good narrator. I didn't mind that the book was only told from her point of view. There were some times, obviously, when I wanted to shake her and just be like, why don't you see what is right in front of you, you know? But I mean, that's a lot of great books are that way. You're just like kind of waiting for the main character to open their eyes, and that was kind of how this one was for part of the book. I was also super, super proud of Abby during most parts for sticking up for herself and not really taking anybody's shit. She didn't really let anybody walk all over her, and I thought that that was a really endearing quality, and I felt really proud of her because I feel like a lot of times females in these kind of books just kind of let people walk all over them, and I just appreciate that she stuck up for herself as much as she did. She was a really strong character, and sometimes it's pretty hard to walk away, but she did that when she needed to, but at the same time, she didn't punish herself. If she wanted something, then she took it. While she doesn't take anybody's shit, she is also able to forgive, and I think forgiveness is a really, really good quality in a female, especially one that stands up for herself. As much as I found her to be strong, I also found her weaknesses to be very endearing, and it made her a very real and relatable character, and I really appreciated that about Abby. Now, Travis. I'm gonna put the book down for this one. Travis is a little bit complicated for me. I'm so confused about him. I love him, I really do. There were a lot of qualities about him that are kind of hard to like, and I realize why a lot of people don't like him as a character. I've had conversations with some of my subscribers who really did not like him at all, and I totally understand their reasoning. I totally get it because I see it too. But for some reason, I just loved him, and I saw past all of that stuff. He was just really controlling and really possessive and violent also. Now, I said this in another video. He's not violent in that, like, with women. He doesn't hit Abby or anything like that. But as far as, you know, the fighting and getting into fights over his jealousy with other guys, he does that a lot. He's kind of hot-headed, I should say. Not violent. He's very hot-headed. It becomes a problem a couple times in the book. And in general, he's just kind of an asshole some of the time. But yet, he cares so much about Abby. And it's very apparent when he's trying to win her over, and as her friend, he does so many sweet things for her as a friend, and that just, I really appreciated that, and he's so apparent that he cares so much about her. I also love Travis's nickname for Abby. I won't share that because I just feel like that's kind of something that's just more fun to read on your own and find out, but I just thought it was so sweet. I have no idea where it came from, but it was just really sweet, and I actually really enjoyed the nickname. I thought it was a cute touch to the story. Especially because then you know that when he uses her name, then he's like, it just like touches something in your heart, you know what I mean? Since he always calls her by a nickname. A lot of the things that Travis did really did bother me, especially in the way that he was kind of controlling with his jealousy and stuff. Some of the choices that he made in other aspects of the plot, I really didn't like. There are two things in particular that I'm talking about, and I won't share what those are because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there are two instances where I really don't like the choices that he made. But I do feel like his imperfections and his making mistakes in those choices makes him more of a real character because he's not perfect, and I feel like the fact that he wants to redeem himself from them makes the story and the character more interesting, and I appreciate that in his character. Although some of the things that he did in response to other things happening really pissed me off, and had I been in his life, they would have really bothered me. Despite all of that, I still really love him because I do feel like his character growth was huge, and he's not perfect, he makes mistakes, and I feel like that makes him as a character more relatable, and you can see his growth a lot more that way. And the fact that he wants to redeem himself from mistakes that he's made, that just seems more of a realistic character than someone who's just perfect. I know not everybody agrees with me about that, but I still really loved him, and in spite of his flaws, I feel like that's what made me love him even more as a character. So as far as the plot, I really enjoyed the friendship aspect that Travis and Abby had. I really appreciated that they started there. It made their relationship, I feel like, have a stronger foundation because they got to know each other and they became very good friends before any kind of relationship started with them, and I really appreciated that because it made the pacing feel more natural for the story. Obviously, when you think about when you see an attractive person, then you know, you're probably immediately attracted to them. Maybe you're not, but in most cases you know whether you're attracted to them or not. And sometimes when you leave and go home at the end of the night, then you think, wow, man, he was really attractive, or she was really attractive, or they were really attractive, and you could, sometimes you continue to think about them. I totally understand that, why attraction goes so quickly in books, but I really appreciated the pacing of this and how obviously there was some attraction there. There was a foundation set. Things didn't go too fast, and I really appreciated that about the book. I really, really enjoyed the friendship aspect, as I said, with all of the characters. The fact that we got to see some really fun scenes of them just hanging out. For a one-book story, it kind of had a lot going on. Yes, there is, you know, this is a series, and there's a spin-off series as well about Travis's other brothers, which I'll explain at the end. There are a couple different plots going on, but we also get to see just some fun scenes in the book. There's one birthday scene that I just think it was so much fun to read, and I really felt like I was there, and I just enjoyed reading it, and it was just so nice to see them, you know, everyone hanging out, getting to know each other and having a good time. I just loved those scenes like that. This book definitely made me nostalgic for school. I just graduated in May, and I'm not going back to school soon like all my friends are, and my sister's moving into school next week, and this book made me so nostalgic for school. It just really made me miss all my friends and the whole being in college aspect of having all of your friends in one place. You can see them whenever you want. But now I'm just a lowly alum and I have to start being an adult now, so that made me a little bit nostalgic. Another thing I wanted to mention was there is a song that I have just been addicted to recently, is Cheyenne by Jason Derulo, and I thought that that song fit this book so perfectly as far as Travis and stuff. I don't know, it just really made me think of this book, and I recommend that you check it out and tell me what you guys think. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It's a little tricky, as you probably understand, that I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because I did have a few problems with it and stuff like that. Especially after I finished reading it, after I let it sit for a few days, I just kept thinking about kind of some of the things that I had issues with, and then I was like, wow, but I gave it 5 stars, but I still feel like it deserves the 5 stars. Even if I rated it today, I would still say 5 out of 5 stars because I really, really enjoyed the book, and I feel like that's a good thing, you know, when you read a book and you see things in it that like maybe you don't like, but you still appreciate them as part of the book because the book really couldn't have gone any other way, you know what I mean? So I gave it 5 stars because I think it deserves it, and I loved it. It's definitely a favorite of mine. Obviously, some books I read, I have so many problems with it that I can't get past them, but this wasn't one of those books. I just felt like the problems that I had with it just, they fit with the story, and they had to happen that way. Otherwise, the character growth wouldn't have progressed like it did. And so I really enjoyed this book, and I definitely think it deserves the 5 out of 5 stars. I think that is it. This is going to be a really long video. I tried to make it not long, but it is. Let me know if you guys have read this book in the comments below and what you thought of it. I would love to discuss it. Just please no spoilers in the comments for those people who may not have read this yet. I hope you guys are having a great August. Good luck to any of you who are going back to school soon, and I will see you all very soon in another video. Bye everyone!
I do apologize for my bare face today. I have been having a lot of problems with my eyes recently, and I've actually been wearing my glasses for almost a week, and the prescription of my glasses is not the most recent one that I have, so I can't see very well, and I just got so fed up with it today that I put my contacts in, and they're still so dry and kind of in pain, so I didn't want to put any makeup on because I knew I'd be rubbing my eyes. I hope you guys don't mind. Oh, sorry.